Today on ATV News, AU launches a new database, NBC's Brian Williams under fire, and the alleged death of an American hostage. Welcome to ATV News. I'm Katarina Urbidi.
And I'm Eric Higas. ATV News starts now.
Longtime NBC nightly news anchor Brian Williams' career is at stake. The network's lead anchor made false statements while he was reporting in Iraq in 2003, saying he was aboard a plane that was struck by a rocket grenade, which in fact, he was on board the plane behind that one. Many in the industry are asking what will happen to Williams' career or if there will be any consequences at all for the false story.
The DC government is having a hard time finding shelter for homeless people in these cold winter months. DC is one of the few cities that is legally required to provide shelter when temperatures fall below freezing. It usually houses the homeless in existing shelters. When they fill up, the city rents out vacant motel rooms. The city officials have said that if their strict rules are not relaxed, many will be left out in the cold.
Katy Perry, Missy Elliott, and more with entertainment. Jalen and Andy, tell us now.
Hi, I'm Jalen Fairborn Chapman.
And I'm Andy Lawani, and this is ATV Entertainment.
The Lance Loves Michael, the Lance Bass wedding special, was filled with fried food, tears, laughs, disagreements, cute boy band members, and so much more. The couple made history as the first ever same-sex couple to be married on any American television network.
The wedding included puppy ring bearers and supermodel flower girls. The two exchanged vows and read them atop the staircase at the Park Plaza Hotel in front of all of their more than 500 friends and family members.
Just 1 week before Bobby Christina Brown was found unresponsive in a bathtub, her famous cousin, Dionne Warwick, slipped and fell in the shower at her home in New Jersey.
The songstress was rushed to a local hospital where she stayed for almost 2 weeks following ankle surgery. While she's said to be doing okay now, the 74-year-old is still not 100% recovered from the accident.
Last week was Super Bowl Sunday, and while some came for the game, the smarter people came for the halftime show. More specifically, Missy Elliott. The Grammy-winning rapper joined Katy Perry for the most viewed halftime show in history. Her musical spectacle included hits like Get Your Freak On, Lose Control, and Work It.
While there were many misguided viewers who had no clue who the hip-hop god was, her album sales saw a 2,500% increase from the previous week, with the last album, The Cookbook, being in 2005.
And speaking of throwbacks, Beyoncé just released her down-tempo remix of Crazy in Love on Thursday afternoon. As I regained consciousness from an induced fainting spell, the sultry song was showered with positive reviews.
The Boots-produced version will be featured on the 50 Shades of Grey soundtrack, along with a Michael Diamond remix of Haunted from her 2013 surprise album.
Signing off, it's Jalen Fairborn Chapman.
And Andy Lawani for ATV Entertainment.
After a grueling cyber attack at Sony Pictures last month, revealing private company emails, Amy Pascal has stepped down as co-chair of Sony Movie Studios. Sony has not immediately named a successor, leaving Michael Linton as sole head of one of Hollywood's biggest production studios.
For the latest news from Capitol Hill, we go to politics with Jonathan.
Hello, I'm Jonathan Hunter, and welcome to ATV Politics. President Obama visited Indiana Friday to promote his new 2-year free community college plan. He spoke at Ivy Tech Community College to a crowd of 400. The president told the crowd that his plan aims to improve the status of middle-class families by increasing taxes on the wealthy. His proposal is estimated to cost $60 billion over the next decade. There's no word yet if any Republicans will back this proposal. Hillary Clinton has not officially announced a bid for president in 2016, but recent actions suggest otherwise. She has assembled a massive campaign team, including a campaign chairman, a media advisor, a chief strategist, and a lead pollster. Political experts say Clinton doesn't have much competition for the Democratic nomination and is holding off on campaigning. And finally, the head of the White House Drug Policy Office says the nation's capital should be able to legalize marijuana without federal obstruction. Director of the National White House Drug Control Policy, Michael Botticelli, says that as a resident, he may not agree with legalization, but is in favor of Washington, D.C. implementing their own laws, using their own funds. This is the second time this week the White House had made comments in favor of legalization of marijuana. I'm Jonathan Hunter, reporting for ATV Politics.
DC public schools are trying a new program to provide educational equality. Officials hope to close the gap in teaching quality across the city. The program puts highly effective teachers from richer areas into poorer areas. Currently, there is a concentration of good teachers in wealthy areas like Ward 3 and bad teachers in poor areas like Wards 7 and 8.
ISIS claims that a female American hostage has been killed in a Jordanian airstrike. Kayla Mueller has been held captive since 2013. The U.S. is very suspicious and says there is no evidence to support the online postings at the time by ISIS.
Here's Taylor with your sports report.
Hello, I'm Taylor Kinzler, and this is ATV Sports. Let's kick things off right here on campus. Last Saturday, women's basketball came up short against Holy Cross, losing 67-61, but came back fighting on Wednesday and got that W against Loyola, the final score 55-44. This team is led this year by senior Jen Derniak, who leads the league in assists and free throws. Now we're going to turn it over to the men. After losing 3 games in a row, the Eagles redeemed themselves and got 2 back-to-back wins, beating Holy Cross 57-50 on Monday and Loyola 64-49 on Wednesday. Jesse Reed leads the team on the board, scoring an average of 14 points per game. Men's basketball takes on Lehigh Thursday night at 7 o'clock. Now we're going to turn it over to the national scene. The Patriots dominated the Seahawks on Sunday, earning their 4th Super Bowl ring. Seahawks fans are still a little upset over one of the most controversial calls to date. The question of whether or not the Seahawks should have run the ball during those final seconds in the 4th will plague Pete Carroll's mind for years to come. Now, controversy aside, you can't deny how cool it was for Malcolm Butler to make that sick interception as a rookie. Football may be over, but I can speak for everyone when I say that the countdown to next season has already begun. This has been Taylor Kinzler with our ATV Sports.
Congress is getting ready to debate an authorization for use of military force against ISIS. This is a requirement for any military action that goes longer than 90 days. The Obama administration has said that the authorizations passed in 2001 and 2003 for Iraq and Afghanistan still apply, but lawmakers skeptical of the war want a separate authorization passed. The debate is as much about policy as it is about the 2016 election. Every potential candidate has come out either for or against the plan. Now we go to Max and Michaela, who have your weekly Wall Street update.
Good evening, I'm Max Kenower.
And I'm Michaela Amos.
And this is your ATV News Finance Report.
On Friday, the Bureau of Labor Statistics released its jobs report for the month of January. The Bureau reported that over 257,000 jobs had been created in January, adding to the more than 1 million created over the last 3 months.
Prices of crude oil rallied this week, rising 9% on the week and 19% over 2 weeks, making this the largest 2-week rise in oil prices since 1998. The rally was caused by a drop in the number of oil rigs, fighting across many parts of Libya, and stronger than expected job growth in the U.S.
And on Thursday, Radio Shack declared bankruptcy. The electronics chain announced that they would be closing 1,600 of their approximately 4,000 stores, with most of the rest being sold to Sprint. Sprint spokespeople said the Radio Shack brand will not be disappearing entirely.
All indexes were up this week, the Dow Jones by 3.8%, the S&P 500 by 3%, and the NASDAQ by 2.3%. This has been Max Kenower
And Michaela Amos with your ATV News Finance Report.
Thanks, Max and Michaela. Last Thursday, President Obama spoke at the National Prayer Breakfast. He made headlines by saying, quote, "People committed terrible deeds in the name of Christ," unquote. The president was referring to the Crusades and Inquisition, where the Christian religion was used to justify violence. Republicans responded by saying actions from 500 years ago are irrelevant, that we should be worrying about what radical Islamists are doing today.
The first jobs report of the new 2015 year have provided some upbeat statistics for most politicians to agree on. The unemployment rate went to 5.7% as Americans are finally re-entering the labor force. Some 703,000 Americans joined the workforce last month. These numbers are a great momentum going into this year. With the latest in world news, from ISIS to Ukraine, Emily and Bailey tell us more.
Hi, welcome to ATV News. I'm Bailey Edelstein.
And I'm Emily Jeffers. 32 people have been confirmed dead after a Trans-Asia plane crashed into a river just minutes after takeoff from Taiwan last Wednesday. The plane's pilot contacted the control tower shortly before the plane went down. 11 people are still unaccounted for.
This week, Nigerian writer Elnathan John tweeted about the measles outbreak in the U.S. The tweet went viral, stating, "I hope we are screening Americans before they come to Africa." Elnathan received thousands of retweets for this reference to the fear-mongering news coverage about Ebola in West Africa. He later tweeted that what he said was a joke.
The brutal murder of a Jordanian pilot held captive by ISIS has resulted in outrage across the globe, especially in Jordan. King Abdullah II of Jordan has made it clear that retaliation is necessary and states that his military will fight until they run out of fuel and bullets.
In further ISIS news, the Islamic State claimed on Friday that one of their American hostages, Kayla Mueller, died in a building targeted in a Jordanian airstrike upon their de facto capital of Raqqa. A Jordanian spokesman stated his skepticism of the claim, referring to the state's tendency to lie and manipulate. This has been ATV World News. I'm Bailey Edelstein.
And I'm Emily Jeffers.
AU has launched a new website. We Know Success is one of the first college databases to share the results from degrees within the university and post-grad employment levels and plans. No other universities in the DC area share this type of information on graduates. And according to the data, 88% of recent bachelor's and 91% of master graduates are employed or continuing their education.
Metro held its first hearing on the incident at L'Enfant Plaza. On January 12th, a Yellow Line train leaving the station stopped and began to fill with smoke. It took 1 hour to evacuate the train. 84 people were hospitalized and 1 died. First responders blamed communications issues and lack of training in the tunnels. Temperatures are warming up, but will they stick around? Tatiana has your forecast for the upcoming week.
Hello everyone, I'm Tatiana Reiter here with this week's weather report. Groundhog Day was earlier this month, and while Pennsylvania's Groundhog Phil predicted winter will extend for another 6 weeks, other groundhogs throughout the country did not have the same forecast. Staten Island's Groundhog Chuck predicted spring will come early this year. On a more scientific note, Monday will be warm but rainy in the DC metropolitan area, with temperatures rising to 52 degrees. Tuesday will be cloudy and cooler with temperatures around 45 degrees. The remainder of the week will be sunny, but the cold air will come back again on Friday with 25 degrees. This weekend will be partially cloudy with temperatures hitting the 30-degree mark. This has been Tatiana Reiter with your weekly weather forecast.
On Friday, Representative Alan Nunley died of complications from brain cancer. He was 56. The Mississippi Republican spent 15 years in local office and was just starting his 3rd term in Washington. He is the first congressman to die in office since October of 2013. A special election will be held in the heavily Republican district sometime in the next 2 months.
All of American University's latest updates now with Sarah.
Hi, I'm Sarah, and this is What's Up AU. I don't know about you, but after being back to school for almost a month, my homework is starting to pile up. If you need some help overcoming procrastination, minimizing test anxiety, or tackling science tests, attend one of the Successful Student Series workshops, starting on Monday, February 9th in MGC. Also on Monday, AU's women's hockey team is letting anyone who is unsure about playing hockey next year come skate with them, with free lessons, free equipment, and a ride to the rink. Anyone interested in publishing and print layout can attend an Adobe InDesign training session Monday night at 7. Learn how to create a project, add text, images, and other objects in the new Media Center lab located in the library. AU has some great events coming up during this week, including a blood drive for Children's National Medical Center, sponsored by Phi Delta Epsilon on Wednesday, February 11th on the Quad from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Also, remember to drop off any spare change you have in the jars located at the front desk of each residence hall. The floor with the most change will win a pizza party, and all proceeds will go to students helping Honduras. This is Sarah, and this has been What's Up AU.
I don't know about you, Eric, but I have been overwhelmed with midterms and homework coming up. I have no idea how to handle this. What are you doing?
Well, I thought I was taking the easy route by taking gen eds, but I learned very quickly why I am not an actual science person.
So it looks like we should both go to these MGC workshops and deal with our test anxiety.
Yeah, definitely. We can learn some great tips there.
Good. Well, that's all with This Week at ATV News. I'm Katerina Urbidi.
And I'm Eric Hygas. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Have a great week, AU.